Now be read a second time, and I call the member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise to speak on the Social Services and Other Legislation Amendment, Seniors Health Card and Other Measures Bill 2014. Mr Deputy Speaker, the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card is an important way for seniors to access affordable health services. It's a healthcare card which recognises the contribution of self-funded retirees. The card is available to people of aged pension age who don't qualify for the pension, but also people who are on low incomes. After a lifetime of work and contribution to our nation, it is an important way of saying thank you to the many thousands of people who fund their own retirement. It is an important way of recognising the contribution that seniors make. It is an important way of recognising that many self-funded retirees are not on particularly high incomes. Some of them are on very low incomes, but they also need our help as well. The income threshold test is $50,000 for singles per year and $80,000 for couples. It offers, as the member for Holt has talked about, some great benefits, discounts on PBS medicines and cheaper medical expenses and other hospital expenses through the Medicare safety net. What is absolutely staggering, Mr Deputy Speaker, is that the Labor Party members opposite are opposing this bill. I am shocked, and members on this side are quite shocked at the decision that Labor has made. What Labor has decided to do is act in a very mean-spirited and nasty way to stop some 30,000 Australians accessing these important benefits. This is an important measure for seniors, and I draw particular attention to something that the member for Ballarat said in her contribution. She said, "We do not believe we should extend supports to people at the top, while at the same time taking money from those that are more vulnerable." Mr Deputy Speaker, the member for Ballarat has no concept of how this seniors card works. This is for people on low incomes. This is for people who need our help. This is for some 30,000 Australians, rather than accessing the medicines at something like $6.90, will now be paying $37.70, rising to $42.70. As I say, Mr Deputy Speaker, this is a mean-spirited and nasty decision, and no matter what members opposite may think of our other measures, and I'll talk about those in a minute, this is an unnecessary opposition to this bill. And this shows that members opposite, and they are uncomfortable with this decision, that is quite evident, that members opposite are only interested in being obstructive. And this is really terrible, and I can assure you that the self-funded retirees, many of whom are on extremely low incomes, will not thank Labor for this decision. Now, even the member for Bendigo acknowledged that some people in her electorate will be disappointed. Well, what a shame that on a really sensible measure to index the seniors' health card, to give more people access to it, to implement something that is sensible, is modest and is measured. What a shame that those opposite couldn't join with us in extending this type of benefit to so many seniors, so many older Australians who need our help. And again, of course, we have this sort of absolute rubbish, frankly, Mr Deputy Speaker, that $50,000 is a lot of money. I mean, for the member for Ballarat to say that these are the people on the top, honestly, Labor has no idea. Labor has simply no idea. Many people are well under that. So $50,000, and I will take the interjection from the member opposite, because what we have seen from this shabby opposition, this opposition that even Bob Hawke is embarrassed about, in January this year, Bob Hawke, looking at the projected deficit of $47 billion, he said this is a very, very large budget deficit that you're looking at, projecting $47 billion. And Labor, they seem to be walking away from the suggestion that they can move into surplus in this first term. What is required is the same thing. You've got to have a Prime Minister and a Treasurer and a competent ministry which understands the issue and is prepared to make the hard decisions. And yes, we have had to make some hard decisions. We haven't enjoyed making the decision to cut the senior supplement. That has been a difficult decision for us. We will be upfront about that. But let me tell you, we will not cop the misleading rubbish that we are hearing from Labor, the scaremongering of Australian pensioners. We are not cutting the pension. The pension goes up twice a year. The pension goes up twice a year, and in September 2017 there will be a change in indexation to CPI. That is correct. But let me just say this. It was good enough for Labor to do it for those on family tax benefit, to move to CPI indexation. Again, we see the utter hypocrisy of those opposite. So let me just say this to anyone watching this broadcast or reading in Hansard. We are not cutting the pension, and we will not cop the misleading rubbish that even Bob Hawke, who was a good Prime Minister and a great Labor figure for this nation, even Bob Hawke is embarrassed about. I want to refer very briefly to the co-payment and the very important safeguards in relation to the co-payment. There's been a lot of, rubbish in relation to the co-payment. 8.6 million concession card holders will be protected from the safety net. They will pay a maximum of $70 a year. And on this point, I do agree with members opposite. For some people, $7 a visit, Mr Deputy Speaker, is actually quite tough, and particularly if you are combining it with a number of services where there might be some pathology or radiology services combined with the doctor's visit in the one visit. So it could be more than $7 in the one medical visit. But the important thing that we have done is provide for doctors to bulk bill. And there will be a strong market out there. There will be many doctors who will decide to continue to offer bulk billing to those who need it the most. And again, the claim of rubbish being echoed across the chamber is simply untrue. That is actually a part of our reforms, that bulk billing will be permitted. But what's been amazing in this debate, talking about cost of living pressures and the absolute betrayal that we have seen from members opposite against self-funded retirees, this mean and nasty and a mean-spirited decision, is that we have not heard anything about the carbon tax. Today, we've been very proud the carbon tax has been passed by the Senate, and that seniors will no longer be hit by an average of $550 a year in costs by reason of higher electricity and gas prices. And Mr Deputy Speaker, so while I acknowledge that for some seniors, $7 in a co-payment can be quite tough, those same people are turning off their heater because they have not been able to pay their electricity bill. Those same people are struggling with this dreadful, toxic tax which is costing manufacturing across Australia $1.1 billion, which has been a $9 billion a year handbrake on the economy. And a year ago, three of the most senior members, then senior members of the government, now in opposition, said we have terminated the carbon tax. And 3 times since they have voted to keep the carbon tax. And I can assure everyone in my electorate of Corangamite and across the Geelong region, this is a great day for manufacturing. This is a great day for our smart manufacturing future. This is a great day for farmers, a wonderful day. And there have been many groups and agencies and representative groups that have spoken out today applauding the repeal of the carbon tax, including the National Farmers Federation, and they've been extremely critical about the way in which the carbon tax has driven up the price of doing everything on the farm, from fertilisers to transport, through to, of course, for dairy farmers in particular. There are many wonderful dairy farmers in my electorate who have been hit with an average increase in their costs of between $5,000 and $7,000 a year. So when we talk about the cost of living, what a shame that members opposite don't have the courage to acknowledge that as of today we have delivered a great bonus, a great benefit to seniors, to older Australians right around this nation. And I just want to very briefly, Mr Deputy Speaker, there's been also a lot of misleading statements made about our support for families and also seniors. And I just want to reflect on the very important welfare scheme that we have in place for so many families. We have a comparatively very generous welfare scheme, a great social safety net. A sole parent with 2 children aged under 6 earning $60,000 in 2016-17 in our budget receives a parenting payment single clean energy supplement and family tax benefit A of $7,009. The energy supplement Part A is $139. Family tax benefit B $3,913. The energy supplement Part B $69. Family tax benefit B and A supplement $1,200, and the B supplement is another $300. That totals in government payments $12,630. Total income is $72,630. Income tax of $12,147. Income after tax is $60,483. So there's actually a net gain of $483. And let's not forget the income tax burden has been lowered substantially because we have raised the tax-free threshold from $6,000 to $18,200. So when we talk about supporting families, that's a really good example of the incredibly generous government payments that we provide families who really do need our help. And again, a dual-income family with a 70-30 income split, 2 children under the age of 6, earning $60,000 in 2016-17, receives total government payments of $10,067. That's a total income of $70,067. Income tax of just $5,667. And then the income after tax is $64,400, a net gain of $4,400. $4,400 in front, because, again, of the very generous government payments that families like the ones I refer to in my contribution receive. And then again, Mr Deputy Speaker, there's a range of other government support that families receive: rent assistance, the childcare rebate of up to $7,500 per child, childcare benefit. There's also access to family support programs, carer allowance and carer supplement to care for somebody with a disability, and of course for some subsidised medicines through the PBS. So that's a really good overview, Mr Deputy Speaker, of the support that we are providing to families. And today, Mr Deputy Speaker, we have added to lowering the cost of living burden by ensuring that we deliver on our commitments to repeal the carbon tax. And we are very, very proud of that. But those members opposite, you would not be feeling too proud with your decision today. This is a really embarrassing decision for you to make. 30,000 seniors on low incomes will miss out on some really important benefits, and I can understand why people like the member for Bendigo are sort of squirming in her seat and feeling uncomfortable with this decision. You may disagree with other parts of our budget, but this was an unnecessary and very unfortunate decision that you have made, because the people who are suffering as a result are the seniors, and they're the people who do need our help. So let's start talking about the facts, and let's just reflect on the decision that you have made today, which I think self-funded retirees from all around this nation, from all around the country, including in my electorate of Corangamite, and there are some 25,000 older Australians in the electorate of Corangamite, which I represent and very proudly represent, who will be extremely unhappy with this decision. But we haven't given up yet, of course. This reflects, the indexation of the seniors card reflects an important election commitment, and Mr Deputy Speaker, I'm very proud of the election commitments that we are delivering in my electorate and across the Geelong region, one of the biggest social safety nets we have seen in a lifetime, and that is the National Disability Insurance Scheme. Again, we see shocking, appalling scaremongering from those opposite, including the Leader of the Opposition, scaring people with a disability, their families and carers. And I will pay credit to the Leader of the Opposition. When he was in government, He helped these people, but now all he's doing is scaring these people, and that is absolutely, really incredibly unfortunate. I commend this bill. This is a wonderful initiative, and I condemn those opposite for the decision you have made.